Oh, ye of little faith, people in the comments. Did you really think I forgot the word bearers? I may have wound a few of you up in the comments there because it's just amusing to me, but no, the word bearers are actually my army, and I love me some word bearers. And I use the word faith there in the introduction to our special Saturday video on purpose. It is an active word when you're talking about the word bearers and what their fans are like. Unhinged, crazy, yes. Word bearers fans to me, because I am one, are DMs. You are all dungeon masters. These are people who love to control worlds, who love to build things, who love to have immense control over large swathes and quantities of what is going on in their lives. And they're searching for one thing in particular, as most artistic people are, and that is purpose. Purpose of artistic merit, purpose of conscience, doing something worthwhile. And it's not strictly related to faith, religion. It is in 40k because it's through that lens, right? But it's not really strictly related to that, in my opinion. The Exiled Blades are, of course, word bearer successors, although we don't spread that around too much because the Inquisition are always around. But I chose them for a reason. I identify a lot with the word bearers. I identify a lot with people who are technically right. They're technically correct, but they've gone about things the wrong way. I would like to think that in all different kinds of issues and problems, sometimes I go about things the right way, but if I feel like I'm correct, sometimes I've gone through things the wrong way and I've regretted what I've done. In that way, I see myself a lot in the word bearers. I think there's a huge misnomer when it comes to word bearers fans and who they are as people. A lot of people seem to think that they're evangelists, that they're extremely religious, and that they have a lot of faith in things. I push back against that. Sure, weirdly, the religious people I know who are into 40k don't collect religious armies. Why? Because religious people who take their religion seriously don't need to be religious in their make-believe world. Why? Because to them, their religion is real. You know what I mean? To them, their faith is real, so they don't need to cosplay faith in a setting like this. Most people who are actually religious in 40k will collect things like Necrons, Tyranids, Orcs, all different kinds of things that don't really have anything to do with that, because they're there to just have fun, right? Faith is their day job. Even if they're not in faith, even if they're not priests and vicars and things, faith is their day job because they take it very seriously in real life. And so when they do 40k, they generally don't do things like Black Templars and Word Bearers. Word Bearers fans aren't searching for faith. They're not really searching for religion. That's a 40k thing, right? That's a 40k thing. That's what the Word Bearers do. What Word Bearers fans do is they search for purpose and meaning. These are guys who need to leave their mark on the world. These are guys who want to write a novel. These are guys who want to write a D&D campaign. These are guys who want to create something and to have a legacy. And they're looking for that purpose. They're looking for something where they can look back and say, yes, I did that, and that's great. What the tragedy of the Word Bearers player is, and to some degree the Word Bearers themselves, is that they don't realize that when they get what they want, when eventually they say, finally I wrote that book, finally I wrote that D&D campaign and it went really well, that doesn't solve anything, because now you're chasing the next thing. Why? Because by and large, you have greatness within you. I think everyone has this to a certain extent, not just Word Bearers players, but it's really upfront in Word Bearers players. You have that greatness within you. You're always striving. If you achieve your goals, you want the next thing. And here's the thing: with Lorgar in the actual lore, do you think if the Emperor said to Lorgar, "Hey, I've got to punish you in front of everybody because it's a test of faith, but I'm really glad you know I'm a god. Great, thank you." Right? And in secret, he, celebrated his faith. And said, as a test of faith, we needed to destroy this city. I needed to know you really believed, right? Do you think Lorgar would have remained good? I don't. I truly believe Lorgar is a rotten person at his core who is so needy and needing of attention and needing of acceptance that he will go out of his way to accrue more and more and more power, right? He did it to Horus. He achieved what he wanted to with Horus, and he tried to betray him near the end of the heresy. He would have done the same to the Emperor in the end, even if the Emperor brought Lorgar on side by telling him, yes, your faith is good, it's all fine. Lorgar would have found another way to wriggle out from underneath the Emperor. He would have eventually have seen, you're not a god, and would have tried to get gods of his own. Why? Because he strives for that independence, he strives to be the one who is lauded, he strives to be the one who is in charge, and Wordbearers players can be like that too, right? Wordbearers players, crazily, I know it sounds odd, we don't do well. We really do not do well with authority. Okay? We're very willful souls. We like to be on our own. We don't like being told what to do and when to do it. And even if you're a guy who's really good to us as a boss, we will still find a way to wriggle out from underneath your authority and do it on our own. We're annoying that way. I know 3 Wordbearers players that are all exactly the same. We can't be on the same team on things because we all try to start leading and it doesn't work. We just pull the same team in 4 different directions. It doesn't work, right? But when we're on other teams, most of the time we're the glue in the middle that's holding everybody together, right? That's what we are. And that's another thing with Wordbearers players that I see quite a lot, is that feeling of needing to be that guy. Insecurities. It's time to get into the nitty-gritty here. Wordbearers players are probably, and I'm saying this as one, some of the most insecure people I've ever come across. I am extremely insecure about certain things, right? I have a massive inferiority complex when it comes to people knowing more than me about things. I have a huge chip on my shoulder when it comes to that. I will seek shortcuts. So I will read up on things I don't know about just so I have something to say about it, that kind of a thing. It's a big flaw in my character that I wish wasn't there, but it is. And the reason why I'm friends with Wordbearers players, by and large as well, probably the most of my friends, the army that I'm friends with the most is other Wordbearers players, because they are the same way. And when everybody's like that, weirdly, you all just relax, because you all know you're all insecure, you all know you're not perfect, and you just relax and have fun, It goes one or two ways. You either relax and have fun, or it goes really toxic, right? Luckily, with my friends, it's the first one, right? We all relax, we all have fun, we all know we're insecure. That means you're not putting on airs, you're not bothering, because you all know, who cares, right? We're all in the same boat. But, weirdly, being a Wordbearers player is also very good for being on YouTube. You're opinionated, you're creative, you're not good with authority, right? And you like to be to be knowledgeable about things. You have something to say about it. Again, welcome to YouTube. That's what you're meant to be on here. So it does lend being a YouTuber quite well. But insecure, and this is the other thing about Wordbearers fans: do not cross them. Wordbearers fans, have you ever been in an argument with somebody? Right, let me just take a quick sip of my drink. You've ever been in an argument with somebody, and they know you quite well, right? And they know just what to say to really piss you off. Either that or really make you angry. They know just what to say. That's a Wordbearers fan. Okay. All the time. Because the reason why we know that is because we care about you. Wordbearers fans tend to care very deeply about the people around them, extremely deeply, to the point of obsession at times, to the point that we want to make you happy. But at the same time, if things break down, that means we know things about you, we know what makes you tick, we know what you hate, and we know exactly what to say to get a rise out of you if you really piss us off, right? That kind of a thing. Seen it happen before with word bearers' friends, where they've gotten into an argument and they've said one thing too far, and it's been one of them things where you go, dude, that was cruel. You didn't need to say that, and it just comes out because there's a fervor there, right? There's a fervor in the word bearer's player. He knows he's right, and you know what? Most of the time when I've seen them argue, it's been very few and far between over the 15 years that I've known them, but when I've seen them argue, they have been right. They've just gone about it in the wrong way. And this the final thing I want to talk about with word bearers players. Most of the time, they're very wise people, and they're correct. When they're going into an argument, most of the time, they're at least 90% correct. There may be 10% that's a bit wobbly, right? But by and large, they're correct, okay? But they've got no idea how to articulate that. And they come across as really overbearing, angry, and even though they're not, they're just literally having a conversation, right? They come across as really overbearing, angry, and they get people's back up. And that just leaves things to escalate until the word bearer says something that is completely beyond the pale because they know it'll piss you off. And now they've given up trying to reason with you, kind of thing, right? This is something that I've just seen word bearers fans do. You have to forgive me. I've been around word bearers fans more than anybody else, right? The reason why I said, even the way that I said flippantly in the comment section last time, nobody does word bearers unironically but me. Every word bearers fan in 40k thinks that. Every one of them thinks that. Every word bearers fan thinks nobody else really collects word bearers. I really collect word bearers. That's the word bearer attitude. That's what they're like. As a special treat, I'm going to talk about Black Legion as well, because somebody mentioned Black Legion. I'm not going to talk about Imperial Knights, because nobody cares, literally. I already talked about Knights. You're the same as Imperial Knights, but you like spiky things. Simple as. And you like to convert things into looking gross, and that's fine. So, with Black Templars, sorry, not Black Templars, Black Legion, you guys are the dark mirror or to the word bearers. Now, what I mean is, of course, the word bearers are very evil in 40k, right? But I'm talking about like the real life word bearers, So you are the dark mirror to them. You are searching for purpose just as much as we are. In all honesty, you are actually searching for purpose. But at the same time, a lot of wayward sons are Black Legion players. I'm going to use the word bastards, right? That's going to be controversial, I know. But a lot of bastards are Black Legion players. A lot of men who collect father figures are Black Legion players. I'm surprised I didn't collect Black Legion. I have thought about it many times. But in the end, my word bearer side won out, But there is certainly a part of me that wanted to collect Black Legion, because these are wayward sons. These are dudes who are on their own. These are dudes who have want to step out the shadow of their fathers, but in reality, they want father figures. They're trying to get a brotherhood together because they want to learn and they want to succeed with each other, and that is perfectly fine. There are a lot of men out there who didn't have really a good father figure when they were younger. They will collect father figures in their friends. Most of their male friends will be older than them. Most of their male friends will have a lot more life experience than them, and they feel more comfortable around them. Now, the one thing you need to watch out for when it comes to these relationships is eventually when you get older as the young bastard in this group. When you get older, some of those older men won't like the fact that you now know more than them on certain subjects. They won't like the fact that your social status is raised and you are now on the same level as them or even higher on certain things. They'll be really intimidated by the fact that you get a good job, or that you're succeeding in work, or that you're doing something that they've always wanted to do. But that kind of thing. Your conversations with them become some sort of a dick measuring contest when you don't want it to be, but that they start to they start telling you how much they earn. They start telling you what kind of car they drive. When this was never a thing 4 or 5 years ago, when you were just a young, you're the young whippersnapper, you know what I mean? That's the Black Legion way of thinking, okay? that most of the anger and resentment amongst the Black Legion themselves tends to be geared towards that kind of dynamic, where lads who start out coming into the Black Legion start to outweigh the lads who have always been there, and friction then ensues. Abaddon himself is a caricature of somebody wanting to step out the shadow of his father, and does so, brutally steps out the shadow of his father. So that's the main thing I want to talk. A lot of people say, well, they're just Ultramarines but black. That is true. That is true. That's how they're treated. But on the flip side, the main characteristic of Black Legion players is that they're bastards. In the actual way it's meant to be said, right? Not an insult, but like a lot of dudes who didn't have dads growing up will gravitate naturally to the Sons of Horus, Lunar Wolves, or the Black Legion. They'll be there. Because it's all about fathers and sons. It's all about forging your own path with your brothers. And, those father figures who are your brothers, who stay with you, who teach you things, and maybe even about outgrowing them too. If I was going to write anything for the Black Legion, it would be that. It would be a testament to them outgrowing each other and maybe outgrowing the Black Legion itself and realizing that they should go and form their own warband somewhere. So those are the two that I missed. One of which was on purpose in the Word Bearers. The Black Legion I was going to leave and not touch, but since a few people asked for it, there you go. This is your special Saturday video. It's going to be up on Patreon right now. I'm going to upload it right now as the rantage, the fireside rant, so that they got this early. So if you want to get yours early, the Patreon is down there. Go and have a look at it. We've got North's Book Club coming up. Probably, it's happened by now. I think we're doing it on Thursday the 2nd, which is tomorrow when I'm recording this. So I think it's happened by now. We were discussing Dan Jones's The Templars. And I think next time we're going to be discussing William Marshall, The Perfect Knight. I will talk to you about that next time, but it's an amazing history book and I can't wait to read it. We've got the monthly painting competition there as well. I think we're going to be choosing a winner this weekend of that, which is going to be really awesome. And we do it every single month, with the winners getting a trophy and then going through to the grand final in December. We have North's Fireside Rants podcast. You've just watched one. I do this 4 or 5 days a week over on the Patreon. Usually there's no background stuff because it's just me talking, like an audio podcast. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that I do when I'm over there, and you get it for free on Patreon every single day of the week that I can manage it. We have complete access to Exile Edition. I am about to bring out, after I get off of here, I am bringing out the Adeptus Mechanicus, which was written by a lovely subscriber, and I'm bringing out also the Necron update 2 to Exile Edition. And we'll be doing a few things going forward there as well, and it's all linked together by the lovely Exiled Backers Discord server. So if you want to buy me a pint, you can do so. You get access to all this lovely stuff. Alright, I'm going to go. I love you a long time. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Alright, have a good one. Bye now.